Okay, 11 is central. This one is 2 central. Okay, awesome guys. So for those who missed the initial class, we'll have a session at 12 California time, and normal class will be at 9 a.m. California time. Or do you want to make it a little sooner?
9 is
Fine.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about the different elements on this pane, right? Oh, before that, let me mute all of you. Okay, perfect. So in this pane, we have talked about rows, columns, and how to put elements onto your rows or columns. You can simply select it, drag and drop it. Okay. Now say I want category next to subcategory, and drag and drop it like this. If I want to see sales information, I'll drag and drop it here. So this is my actual sales information. If I want to see it as a column, it's going to be shown as a bar graph. Okay. Awesome. Now, I know the color might not be as clear. So remember the shades. This is green in color and this is blue in color. Right now, it might be a little bit dim, but whenever you're working, then observe that, because this will have like this small importance to this. We'll talk about that. Okay. Blue color and green color. Okay. Now coming back to this, in this one, so we have seen rows and columns. I'm assuming you're already familiar with these two. We have also talked about filters, on how to put a filter. We'll be talking more about what are the different possible filters and how to place them when we are discussing the quick filter section here on point 23. But for now, to enable a filter, you can simply select whatever filter you want to place on. So I want to place a filter on states. I've selected states from here, drag and drop it into the filters pane. So these are called panes, okay? Filter pane, pages shelf, marks panes, okay? Or marks shelf also. So if I need to place a filter, say on Alabama, Arizona, I selected these two, click on apply and done. If I want to remove them, selected all of them, click apply, done. If you don't want to have a filter at all, select anywhere not on this design pane. So anywhere outside here or not on this, you can drag and drop it. Okay, to go back, to come forward. Control Z and Control Y can be used here. So, but what happens if I put it here? See what happens when I put it here. Basically, it's basically you're stating state is going to be one of the fields. If you don't want that, if you want it as a filter, drag and drop it into filters pane, click OK. Now it will be going, it will leave this place. From rows, it will go back to the filters. Okay, awesome. To remove it, that's how we remove it. Or the best safe bet is basically to select this. If you want to remove it from out of that page, you can, or you always drag into this left region, because sometimes instead of dragging it here somewhere else, you might drag it to any of these elements and your report will change. Okay, awesome. So that's, we talked about the filters. Next we'll see pages shelf. So right now there's no filter on the state, but imagine a scenario where you want to see filter, but you want to select each and every filter. So what I'll do, I'll select the state and put it on page shelf. Now your data is filtered for the appropriate state. It's filtered on Alabama right now. If I want to go to the next state, I click on this next tab. Okay, why is this useful? Basically, not just this, you can also use the play option. So just click on play it's going right. So this is especially useful when you're presenting. So imagine a scenario. Let me make one more report. Okay. I'll make a small scatter plot. Say scatter plot between category and sales or and profit. This is my scatter plot. Now I'll select this. Where is this? Year, order date, year. So whenever I click here, one moment, I'm sorry. Let me make few options here. When I click it here, you can see how they are progressing. Now, had I placed category onto color shelf also, now see what happens when I click on this play. You can see a trend. It's basically increased like this, moved like this, and so on, right? So these things you can observe it, and it's appealing for users. Okay, that's why we use this page shelf. If you want to increase the speed, decrease the speed, it will take some time. Okay, so that's our page shelf. Now you could have done the same thing with filters. Now let's see the filters. Selecting this, filters, say click on only one, click OK. I'll show this as a quick filter, show filter. Don't worry, we'll discuss all of these options in the later classes. Okay, so here they could have done this way too. But what happens is when you place a filter, you're basically removing everything other than what satisfies your condition. But with a page shelf, on the other hand, I could have used the show history. So right now, because of the show history icon, I have basically previous year's information also. So this one, these points. So right now it's state Colorado's information I can see. So earlier point was this, earlier point was this. So I can see these points in real time. So it's not filtering the data completely. You are actually seeing the traces of your earlier information. Where is this used? So wherever there's a trend, right? So basically mainly for the years or months that you're showing, we sometimes use page shelf. This is the best practice, but this can be used anywhere. Okay, now we talk this. Let me talk about like few of these elements and then I'll start the chart. Okay, now here if you observe, like these three are marked differently and you have a legend saying category and it has different colors. This is legend, right? So category with different colors is listed here. So how did this gain this color? This now there's no colors here. If you want to put colors to that, select category and whatever however you want to color it, put it on the color pane. Now it's filtering on categories. What if you want to filter on one? What if you want to filter on subcategory? Basically you want to color it based on subcategory. Okay, each and every point you're seeing here is different subcategory. Okay, awesome. So that's my color shelf. Then right now you have this circle. What if, like instead of all the circles, basically you're finding the distinctions based on different points, but different colors is the main thing. But instead of that, if you want to show it as different icons, put it on, put it on shape. Now shape gave me different icons. Now instead of shape, if you want to see the size, put it on size. Now each size, the furniture has the smallest size, the biggest is going for technology. So now you have it like this. So instead of color, shape or size, if you want it as a label, You can simply select it, drag and drop it on labels. So now you have it as a label. Okay, I can move it like that. Okay, now if you basically want to see these distinctions but doesn't care, like you don't want to show anything, like you don't want to differentiate the size, you don't want to differentiate the color or shape or anything, select it and put it on detail. What detail paint does is it's going to take your report, this is your report, right? Your report to this level of detail. Okay, now had this not been there, so this is the highest level of detail that it's showing. But because I place this onto the detail shelf, that means for each category, so that means I'm saying my lowest level of detail is per category. Okay, and the next option is we have a tooltip option. So say you have these three, profit and sales are present right now. So not just profit or sales, say you want to show quantity also. I'll put this into tooltip. Now you are not seeing it anywhere here, but when I hover on this, you see the quantity is being listed next to it. But if this was not there, this is not present right now. So that's my tooltip. So basically what I mean by tooltip is, oops, sorry. What I mean by tooltip is the small menu kind of information that I'm getting next to any icon or next to any information point, that is called as tooltip. Okay, now we'll see how to edit different options in here in a moment, but before that I'll unmute all of you, so go ahead with any questions you have. Okay, go ahead. Anyone, any questions? I cannot hear you.
Yeah, can you do it again? Detail and tooltip.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so what is the highest level of detail you have right now? That means basically you're showing one point for sales versus profit. Now I want it to the level of detail of category. That means I should be able to identify each category. Okay. For example, if I say put state into detail, that means I'm saying I want to identify each state separately. That's the lowest level of detail that I need to go, that I need to show. Okay. So if I do it like this, now each state will have a point. Okay. Had this not been there, your aggregation would sum to this level. So basically detail means you are showing to this least level of aggregation. Okay, that's the detail. And tooltip is nothing but, so whenever I hover on this icon or shape, you see that small menu that's popping up which is saying profit equals to a value and sales is equals to a value. That is called a tooltip. Now you can see this in many places. So let me create a sample one. Say here. So here now, one moment. Okay. Now, if you observe, map is based on longitude and latitude. Color shows sum of profit. Details are shown for each state. Basically, you're showing for each state. And whenever you hover on the particular state, you see that small menu that's coming next to it. State is Utah and profit is 2547. So that is called tooltip. Okay. Now to have something, so right now you're basically showing state versus profit. Now what if you want to see the sales information also? So to do that, you select sales and put it on tooltip. Now you have no change here, but whenever I hover on it, you see the tooltip is modified. It right now lists not just state and profit, but also the sales. Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Okay, so Raven asked a question. What is the difference between data source filter and dashboard filter? So data source filter is where we place it here. So this is the place where we put the data source filter. So whenever you put a filter on data source, it's going to affect your whole workbook. That means not just one worksheet or dashboard, but the whole. So for example, let's see, like remember any of this value, like say for example, paper. Office supplies paper has total sales of 78479. Now let me place a filter here. I'll add a filter. This is the data source filter. Click add. Say for state I'll place. I only want these two states information. Click OK. Keeps Alabama and Arizona. OK. Now when I go to sheet 1, you see my labels and paper. These values are modified and there is no filter listed here. Now let me remove this. These values. Okay. Now basically I filtered the whole data source. So even if there's no information here, all the sheets in this workbook will be filtered. All the sheets basically which use this data source. Information from this particular data source is filtered. Now, what is data source or worksheet level filter? So basically, say I place a filter. This is not a good graph. So okay, for example, I'll place a filter on states. I'm only showing Alabama information. Click OK. What is the total profit and sales I'm seeing? So sales is basically like 20K, 19.5, and profit is 5787. Now, if you see here, there is a filter present here, state Alabama. But if I go here, this is my sum of sales. If the maximum sum of sales here I have is 19511, how am I getting this many sales information? So basically, this filter was not applied to this worksheet. Okay. So that's the difference between your data source filter and your dashboard or worksheet filter. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay. So
Yes, Shiva, there was a way you were able to move the filter all the way to the left.
I'm sorry?
There was a way you were able to, instead of putting one of the dimensions on the filter pane, there was a way you were able to push it all the way to the left, right?
Yeah, for example, so you're saying something like this.
I'm sorry, on the right. I'm sorry, on the right. There was a way you were able to do it, to put it all the way to the right.
Okay, here?
Yeah. Is there a way you can be able to filter it on that space?
Here, you mean to say?
No, all the way to the left.
So, like this?
Not on not on the rows. It was say for example, someone who is not used to the worksheet and they just want to filter it out. Say for example, a user want to filter out according to the state they want to.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it. So when you click here and click show filter.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, thanks. Yep. Okay.
So in this one, you see that there are multiple options here. When I click here, so there's a single value list. So this is the list, right? I can either select it like this, or I can select all of them. Or there is single value drop down. So basically different UIs, okay? Single value slider, like this. Then we have multiple value list. So that means check boxes. Multiple value drop down, custom list, and wildcard match. So you're already familiar. I think you already understood these two things. I'll say wildcard match. So here, So if you want to say filter for Alabama, you have to enter that. Okay. Now this is for Alabama. So if I want to search it for Illinois, search for Illinois. IL or say AL, like this. Okay. So that's my wildcard match. Basically, I'm matching the particular keyword that I'm trying to search here. Okay.
Okay.
That's my wildcard match. Okay. So someone asked a question. Sunil asked me, so slider in filter is similar to page, right? So slider in filter. Oh, okay. So you mean to say like this? Yeah.
Yes, you are. I mean, I have seen more options in filter than pages. So what is the use of page than filter?
So you cannot generate an animation kind of thing from a filter. So from a page, you can generate that. So for example, let's see. Right now I have this states information. Oh, no. Subcategory and say sales. And say category. Okay. Imagine I have a dashboard like this. So, and I'm trying to filter it per year. Okay. So where is the year here? Order date. Okay. Yes. Okay. Show filter, and here I'll select slider. Now this is showing 2011. This is showing all 11, 12, 13, and 14. Okay, now if you observe, for example, chairs, can you say the sales of chairs between 2014 and 2000, sorry, oops, sorry, 2012 and 2014, which is bigger? This is my 2014, this is my 2012, which is bigger?
2012.
Okay, so yes, so for example, right now let's see the value of 2012. The sales for 2012 is 71735. So say $70,000. Okay, assuming approximation. But for 2014, what is my sales for chairs? It's $95,000. But the height of this bar is less. In 2012, this bar height is very big compared to 2014. So this is one of the distinctions also. Your axis change for a filter. Whereas if you put this in a page shelf, 2011 is 12, 13, and 14. Now can you observe it clearly?
Yes, sure.
Between the years? Yeah. And also, sorry. And also, basically now you are tracking only this year information in this case. But when I place it here, and shows history, so basically I can, like view history also. So if you see, like there's a little dim kind of thing here in the back. This is, say for example here, it's a little bit dimmer. So what is this dim thing? So let's see, in a line graph, I think you can observe it clearly. Okay. One moment. No, not this. I don't want to do this. Where is my year? Order date. Hold on, like this. Okay. So furniture, office supplies, 2011, 12, 13, and 14. Okay. So let me put this order date onto filters. Years. This is my 2011 information. Let me show a filter. Show filter. Slider. 2011, 12. So basically it's not retaining the previous year information. But if I put this on a page shelf, now access is going to remain constant. And with the show history option, so there's a little dim thing here. You can change that by the options in this. So let's see, I'll not fade it. So 2013, it's like this. So I can generate an animation out of this. And also I'm retaining my previous year's information. Something like this. So if I want, I can also show trials and so on. Okay, awesome. So that's the difference. Okay. So the next question. Okay, if you don't have any questions, then we'll go into, so basically we'll go into deep on this because I don't want to discuss SQL right now. Okay. Okay. So in this demo, till now, we have finished till here. Okay. 8 different panels, data to worksheet, joins we'll see in SQL, live and import connections, rename fields, different data sources. What is Tableau Desktop? Why do you use Tableau Desktop? What are the different products and what are Tableau versions? So if you don't have any questions in this, then I'll go a little depth onto this pane only. The reason I'm going to do that is because we have like less than 20 minutes of time right now, and I don't want to start SQL. Or do you want me to start SQL?
Can you show the in discounts?
So say discounts on
You
tooltip.
want like 5%.
Sorry?
We have to choose only the 5 customers.
Choose only 5 customers? What do
Yeah.
you mean by that?
Actually, 5 people of 5 states.
Oh, okay. So that's 5 states information here. If you want to see which states those are, say in detail, I'll say in tooltip. Oh, sorry, not in tooltip. Say in label. Okay, these are the 5 states that I have. Okay, quick thing before I forget. For tomorrow's homework, try to see a table structure. Basically, what is a table? How does a table look like? And I know most of you are already familiar with this. How does a table look like? What is a table? How is data saved in your databases, servers, and so on? But before you come to class tomorrow, that means tomorrow morning at 11 Central, I want you to prepare on how does a table look like. Basically, what are rows? What are columns? In say in Excel. Okay, try to prepare that. Awesome, guys. So now I'm going to talk about more editing options here. One thing most of the times people get confused is you select this right now. Imagine a scenario where you want to see it different shapes but also different sizes. Okay, now whenever if you select this normally and put it on size, you lose the label. You lost the label right now. Why? So why it happened is basically you're simply selecting this and you're putting it in size, basically removing it from your label ABC123 ABC123. If you put this on size, you have the size. See the images. Put it on color, this color. So if you want to do something with more than one, you click on Control and then put it. Okay. If you don't want it, drag and drop it. So basically clicking on control would be something like copy paste of that field. But if you don't select it, you basically like cut paste. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now, oh, okay. Raven asked me, can you explain one more time? So basically, whenever, if I select this simply and drag and drop it, so right now from shape, this is in shape. If I select and drag and drop it into size, you're going to lose the shape. See, everything is as a circle. You lost the shape right now. If you want shape, you lost the size. So the alternative is you click on control, select that field and drag and drop it into the other. Or another alternative is you can select a new field from this list, not from here. Select it here and then put it. Okay, that's one thing. Next, we'll see some editing options in these. So let's see the editing options of color.
How many marks can we have in that way? Like when you added more than one, right, just now?
Here?
Yeah.
These many elements mainly.
Yeah, I understand.
So
all 6 of
tooltip. So detail, tooltip, label, you can have as many as possible. Color, size, and shape, only one element. Okay. So for example, if I color it based on state, now if I select this and try to color it based on category, you're basically coloring it on category. You lost the color.
Yep.
Okay. For color, size, and shape, you can do only one thing. But for detail, tooltip, and label, you can do as many as possible. Okay. Awesome. So now let's see the different options of color. So select this. You see there are multiple options here. So first, let's see the transparency option. So as I decrease the transparency, you observe here, these are becoming dimmer. That's what transparency means. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm muting you. I have muted all of you. So that's my transparency here. Next, if you want to edit colors, so basically for furniture, instead of the color that I have right now, I want to give, say, blue color. So how to do that? Select this, click on this. That's all. Now this is assigned blue. Now if I click on apply, the color is changed. Okay. Now let me do one more thing here. So imagine a scenario where I have, instead of a category, I'll put the color into states. Now if you want to modify your states, so for example, California needs to be this color. So how to do that? You select this and click on this icon. Click apply and it will be modified here. California, see the icon, color of the icon right now. If I change from this one to say blue color, click apply. The icon is changed here. So that's how you edit a color. Okay. Now after this editing of colors, you have this select color palette. So if you see here, these are shades of blue. These are shades of red, shades of green. If you want to assign this whole palette to this one, this is called a palette. Okay. Basically like a tray of different colors. If you want to assign this palette to these, click on assign palette. Click apply. Click OK. So you see everything is shades of green. If you want to edit, you can edit the colors from here or from the legend itself. Edit colors. You want to give, say, red color to this one only for Vermont. Click red, click apply. Okay. That's how we do it. Multiple elements, red color, apply, okay. That's my red color options, okay. Awesome. So the next thing we'll talk about, now we finished the color, let's talk about the size. So to increase the size or decrease the size, you can do it this way. So by default, you have one defined size, right? That's this size. If you want to decrease it from the default size, select it back or more. If you want to, for example, say instead of blank, let me put color based on category. Oh, no, not category, say by region. So each region will have different categories, different sizes. So there are 4 regions and each region got a different size. To edit, like this. Okay. Edit sizes, you can do it from here. Select is the smallest given. If you want to reverse it, click on reverse. Click apply. Apply. Okay. So that's how we do it. That's my size. Now shape. Say instead of region by size, I'm putting it into shape. Now these are my shapes. To edit shape, select it here. So select it here and give a different shape. For example, I want to give this triangle. Click apply. Okay. Now there's a triangle here. Now if you want to give a circle here, what is this? The region is central. Click on shapes. For central, you want to give a circle. Select circle. Click on apply. Okay. Now these are the default types you have. These are the default shapes basically. If you want to have your own custom shapes, what you need to do is you have to go to your Tableau repository. Once you go to Tableau repository, you can put your shapes on that folder, and once you click on reload shapes, it will be shown in this menu. Okay. Awesome. Our central has this icon. Okay. You can also define a color for that and so on. Next, label. So if you want to show marks labels, it means these are my marks, right? If you want to show them, click on show mark labels. So these are my mark labels. If you want to show a separate field here, basically like say you want to show the region names. Okay, what you can do, select region. Now see, I'm clicking on control and putting it into the label. So now by default, my region is being shown. Here right now, region is there. This is tool. These are tooltip options. I'll say that in a moment. So now you can see region. Why are you seeing region? Region is listed here. If you want to change the font, change the color, transparency. So okay. The next thing, marks to label. Oh, sorry. Next thing is alignment. So alignment is set as automatic. If you want like horizontal alignment with a certain height, you can do it like this. You can also give a direction. You can also turn it off if you want. Wrapping. Now there's no wrapping element here. That's why you're not seeing anything here. And a label, we have more options. So basically, do you want to show all marks or only those that are selected? So that means now nothing is shown, but if I select something, this mark will be shown. Min, max. These are my min and max. and highlighted. So basically, if I highlight something, then only it will be shown. Allow labels to overlap other marks. If you remove this, that means basically you're saying, so for example, let me generate a simple graph here and put state into label. Now, if you observe the label options, if I click on this, observe this region especially, selecting this, see, they're overlapping the labels, right? So that's what he's asking here. Do you want your labels to overlap or not? Yes, no. Okay, that's one thing. And one thing I forgot to tell you in color is that, so in this edit colors, you can assign it based on these options, or for example, say you click on advanced options and you can also set some things here, or click here, and right now this is basically like the whole color palette. You can give like RBGs, hues at val, or you can give a HTML code. HTML code is basically like it identifies each value uniquely, basically each shade of color. So for example, if in my company profit is shown in by, if I say like profit will be shown, needs to be shown in green color. So if you observe, this is a shade of green, this is a shade of green, 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 and green. So which one should I select? So that your company will follow one, like a compliance, basically like one rule, you will use these options. You can set these. So if you think you are going to use a color, you can add that to your custom color list so that you can come back to it easily. Why? What's the use of these adding to the custom colors? Click OK. So here you're adding that two colors here. Okay. Not just that. So right now sales is a continuous thing, right? So if I say sales is $10, it's between this and between that. But if I say something like furniture is between office, so in this case, so furniture, I can't say it's between office supplies and technology. So the distinct value of furniture of each category, I cannot list it. So these are my discrete values. Whereas sales here, I can say this $33 is between $11 and $788. So if I have to give a color range, I can give a continuous color if I'm trying to color it based on my sales. But for a category, I have to do it in a discrete way. That means furniture will get one category, one color. Office supplies will get one color. Technology will get one color. So for example, see what happens when I select this category and put in color column. Now you have three distinct colors here. But see what happens when I select sales and put it into color. You have like a shade of that. So that's the difference between your continuous and discrete. Okay. Awesome. I'm unmuting you so that you can ask any questions you have. Okay, I just unmuted you. No questions?
Well, you said that we need to save some of the pictures in the repository, right? So where is that location? Can you show me?
Okay, one moment. Okay, so I just opened my documents. Under my Tableau repository, you have shapes. So for example, if you click on, so where is this? Where did I make it? Let's make it a shape. Okay, so sum of discount, I'll make it a shape. Okay, now I have different shapes. So shape icon, if you see here, filled, arrows, bars, gender, bug tracking, and so on. These are the options I have, right? So under my Tableau repository, shapes, you have the same options. So if you say arrows, I'm opening arrows. These are the different arrows listed in arrows. Arrows. So these are the different arrows listed here. In the same way, it will be listed over there. Thin arrows. These are my thin arrows. There are 8 shapes over there. These are the 8 shapes. Okay. So if you have to get new shapes, you can put those in a folder here and it will be shown in this list. Okay. But you have to, there's a small thing. You have to take care of the type of the picture that you're putting here. Okay. Where is the type? So PNG is being used. So don't put like a JPEG or GIF and try to show up. Okay. And also the size is also important. That means you cannot put like a 10 MB image in PNG and you cannot expect it here. Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay. So awesome, guys. So tomorrow we are going to meet at 11 Central. These timings for a normal class. For those of you who might have missed the first class or first few classes, I can repeat them during this time. Okay, so I'm going to schedule both of these with the same link that you are using right now. You can use that link and join it tomorrow. Okay, awesome. Have a good day, guys.
Shiva, Sujit here. So I'll use the same link that you sent today.
Yeah. Yes, Sujit. You can use the same link.
All right. Thank you very much.
The class